you feeling?
This ice is cold.
What did it feel like, just that kind of get that two-man game back, and what were you seeing down the stretch?
I was trying to shoot myself in the rhythm. It's been, I forget how many games it's been, but 6. I feel that's enough for you to kind of lose your rhythm a little bit. So, I don't think we would have done two-man game if I didn't make a couple shots prior. So, it was good to kind of see the ball go in. But I'm just happy for everybody that that got in the game. Everybody played well and played with energy and played with some urgency and like there was something on the line, because there was. So, I'm just happy for the group. I could care less what play we run in the game.
What's it been like this week? You lose the coach you won a title with, but you guys have responded. You're playing with joy again. Kind of what are your thoughts on what's transpired these last 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, you just gotta look ahead like we've done. I think the Kings game was a good example of everybody just kind of communicating and staying together, and even through adversity or when the other team went on runs, just the way we came together and collectively moved forward during the game was really cool to see. And then tonight, like you said, just running stuff at the end of the game, and guys just talking amongst themselves, So it was cool. We're just got to find some more continuity and some more good habits as we go into the last game and into the playoffs.
How did DA handle it when you guys fell behind by 15 in the first half? And what was his demeanor like?
Solid.
Jamal, is there anything different, like just dynamics about playing with a different head coach and how that is on the floor for you and in the huddles and stuff?
For me, I wouldn't say it's too much change. But I don't know. It's only been 2 games. I've only played 1, and I'm in a restriction. So I'm sorry, Jake.
Are you guys in a better position to play drop this year, maybe than playing at the level sometimes? I know you guys can play both.
Why is that?
Are you maybe a little bit better playing drop and defensively and pick and roll this year with the personnel that you have?
Why do you think that, though?
It was an adjustment that David Adelman mentioned as the second half adjustment.
I think with Ja, yeah. I'm not going to be up with Ja. That guy he's gonna go around you. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that was the reason for the game plan this one. I feel like last game we were up though. Yeah, I think it's just because it's Ja over there and he's super athletic and he's always going to try and get to his spot. So I think with the guy trailing him or chasing him, we're just kind of staying on him the whole time, and you're kind of covering that area, that space. Zach Edey's in the game too, so I feel like it's multiple things. But to answer your question, I just think it was personnel tonight.
Thanks.
Jamal, Josh talked about maybe creating a spark with this team with the coaching changed. Are you feeling that spark?
Yeah, well, if that doesn't spark you up, then something's wrong with you, bro. So yeah.
Any reflections just on Coach Malone's tenure and just playing for him as long as
Coach always has had my back. From a young kid coming to this league up until now, he's always rooted for me. Like I said, always had my back and always kept me in good spirits. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give that kind of same energy to him, the same kind of respect. We don't get here, without him. I think not just with him. I think he's done a great job of also setting the example for the group behind us, not just us, but for the group behind us. And he always preached a lot of sacrifice and playing for one another and stuff. But I thought Coach always showed a lot of humility in himself. You know what I'm saying? Just always taking control of the room, always hating to lose. He was always setting the tone in that regard. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks to kind of see him go like that, especially the way it happened this late. But we're still gonna remain in contact and stuff like that. So yeah, Nuggets roll.
Was there ever a concern you might not be able to come back and this season in terms of the regular season? And how much are you looking forward to the playoffs when you've played some of the best basketball in your career, obviously?
No, I would just say that's just you guys talking amongst yourselves, not knowing what's going on and stuff like that. So.
Jamal, you made a season few. The team, as a team, you guys made a season fewest amount of threes tonight, 5 threes. You were still able to find a way to score come back in the fourth quarter. What does it say about your guys' resolve and different ways to win a game that you guys are able to do that in today's NBA?
Just touch on that. They're all great shots too. Like, I'm saying, it's hard to tell somebody, or not somebody, but tell the group out there that's, what to change something offensively. We're getting good looks by everybody, and Mike's one of the greatest shooters. I have a lot of confidence in myself. Russ got some great looks. AG has some really good looks. Yoked. So, you just want those guys to keep shooting. It's all about positivity and encouraging each other to keep shooting it. So we're getting what we need on offense. I think when stuff like that happens, we just got to rely more on our defense, be more physical. If somebody's rolling to the rim, just foul them instead of getting up a 2. I think, those little details come into play when we're not making shots like that. So.
Was that fourth quarter that relying on that defense? Was that like how you saw that?
Yeah, they had 1 point in the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I just felt like we just got more aggressive. It wasn't even physical. We just got more aggressive into the ball, active hands, deflecting the ball, boxing out. Edie, the biggest dude on the court. I think it's the multiple things, but I think the defense is got to carry us when we're not making shots.
I saw a lot of guys were wearing Christian Brown T-shirts today, just for most improved player kind of candidacy. Just how would you describe his improvement throughout the season, and then would you vote for him for?
Oh, of course. Of course. Just to see his leap, not only in just on the court, but his growth as a leader, and he's willing. Like I said, he's willing to open his ears and listen, and take criticism. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the biggest thing in making you the most improved is how well you learn and how well you adapt and all that stuff. So I think 100%. Whoever wins it is great, but I just think number 1 picks are number 1 for a reason. They've been good since high school. And they've been looked at since high school and before that. So shout out to those guys who are also in the run for it. I just think being around this guy. And seeing his progression, being his locker buddy, always talking to him, winning a championship with him, I think he's most improved.
One more. You talk about guys that improved. He didn't finish the game tonight, talking about Jalen Pickett, but he did in Sacramento, played great, had a career high. What type of growth have you seen from him since his rookie year to where you guys are right now?
A lot of it's in confidence in himself to go out there and do what he does. I think sometimes when you're a guy that not sure where or how much minutes you're going to get, you kind of play tentative because you just want to play perfect out there. You know what I'm saying? I think last year he might have been trying to play perfect or whatever it was. I think this year he's coming in and he's like, if I miss, I miss. But he's taking the shots. He's playing his game. He's playing through it. And he's building that trust and that confidence, not only in himself, but the teammates and the guys, everybody around him. So it's fun to see, and we're going to need more of that in the playoffs.
Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you, Jamal. Appreciate it.